Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another Friday vlog. I wanted to update you on the status of my channel and my new Patreon campaign. I got my first pledge to my Patreon campaign at the $1 a month level. So a special thank you to my very first Patreon campaign supporter, Trevor McAleese. Thank you very much. Although I did say that I would only say someone's name at the $20 level, so I think you owe me $20, Trevor McAleese. 40, Trevor McAleese. 60, wait, it doesn't work like that? Well, anyways, special thanks to you anyways. Hey, I upgraded my microphone, check it out. It's a green screen microphone. I had this crazy idea that it would work. I was sitting there asking myself the age-old question that a lot of us video recording people ask: how do I get my microphone closer to me without it being in the shot? It's the constant question. Better sound fidelity out of the shot. Microphone in the shot, better sound. Microphone out of the shot, better video, worse sound. You can have both with a green screen microphone. I just bought this green fleece for just $1. This is where or $2. Well, $1.70 of light green fleece that I got at Walmart. It acts as a wind fob, so it cancels out some of my breath and some of the wind, while also doubling as a green screen item. I've got green rubber band on there. And ta-da! A microphone that is no longer seen on the screen as long as you are using the green screen, and that is close enough to sound very good. As good as some of those radio people. Because the people on the radio don't have to care how close they put a microphone to them, because they don't care how they look in front of a camera. In any case, so I'm proud of that one, because I'm not sure if other people have thought of this idea, but I thought of it on my own, and I thought I was a genius, and I'm feeling very proud of myself. I'm not a genius, but I felt like one for a little while. And you can too if you're creative. Let's not be creative. Oh, I like that episode of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. Let's never be creative again. Green is not a creative color. Green is not, sorry. Oh, green's not a creative color. Your microphone is green. What? Oh. Anyways, so games that I'm going to play in the future. Hey everyone, I might play some games in the near future. And I am going to buy the game Mountain Blade because it's only going to be $5. So Mountain Blade is coming in the future. Although I'm not sure how soon in the future. It depends on how you guys feel about it. But I really like the game Mountain Blade. And somebody told me that there's really cool mods for Mountain Blade. And I'm like, there's really cool mods for Mountain Blade? I played an early beta version and a demo of Mountain Blade, but I never actually officially owned Mountain Blade. I just played it at a lot of people's friends' houses, but I really, really liked the game when I played it, but I don't own an official copy. So, anyways, I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna make that happen, and I'm gonna play the cool mods, the mods with the zombies and the fairies and the elves or some crazy fantasy nonsense. That sounds kind of fun, and it also, I'm told that mod is rather hard, which is also very appealing to me. But anyways, here's some other games along a knight sort of theme that I might play along with Mountain Blade. If you like me to play games along a medieval chivalry and knights, sort of, if you want me going medieval for medieval knights, you might see me play the following games. Conquer 1086. It's a cool game where you build castles, you joust, you try to kill a dragon, you try to unite the realm. There's two ways to win that game. Either you slay the dragon or capture London. And I don't think I've ever beat the game, so that would be great. Although I had made some progress. This is one of those games where I like to goof around. And also, the great thing about Conqueror 1086, I will say this, it has the greatest character generation almost of any game I've ever played. The character generation is amazing. It's random, and it's interesting. It's random, and it's fun. Like, they'll ask you a series of questions, but the outcomes of the questions are random, which is hilarious. Like, you see a wolf. Do you fight the wolf, or do you run away? Well, if you fight the wolf, you might win, or you might lose, and if you lose, you're gonna take permanent endurance damage or something. It's crazy. All the questions, and I think the outcomes might depend on your stats slightly or something. It's crazy. The character generation system in Conqueror is awesome, but we gotta move along because I've already been vlogging for 5 minutes. I don't want this to be much more than 15 minutes, and I got a lot of games to talk about. So, Knight's Chase! Knight's Chase is a third-person 3D sort of perspective game. It's sort of an action/mystery sort of game, where you're one of the Knights No, you're not one of the Knights Templar. You're somebody who encounters the Knights Templar by going back in time and trying to save someone from something. It's kind of a neat game that I got when I was young and I never beat, and it looked neat. So, Knight's Chase. There's not a lot I can really say about that, except for it's one of those old 3D Infogrames games. So, like, if you've ever heard of, what was it? Something Alone in the Dark. If you've heard of the Alone in the Dark series or the Tetswin series, Infogrames. If you've heard of those Infogrames games, Knight's Chase is one of those games. It's very similar in a lot of ways, but I think it holds up fairly well. Maybe not the best choice. I have a soft spot for the original Stronghold. Stronghold number 1. I never beat that game either. I played it a lot though, but I ended up messing with the editor so much more and creating my own stages, and I had a ton of fun with Stronghold, but I never beat the campaign, and I'd like to go back and beat the campaign. So, if you'd like to see me beat the campaign in Stronghold, more power to you. Vote for it. Lords of the Realm 2, fun game. I don't really need to say much about it. You try to take over the realm. It's turn-based. It's pretty cool. You manage the land. You have to make fields fallow and worry about crop rotation and things like that. Or you can have all of your people fed by dairy, or things like that. You can have a bunch of cows. It's fun. It's fun. It's interesting. Lords of the Realm 2, maybe even Lords of the Realm 1 if you want me to play it, but Lords of the Realm 2 I honestly think is better. But, well, maybe I haven't had enough experience with Lords of the Realm 1. Lords of the Realm 1 was fun, but you didn't get to interact. The castle sieges you didn't get to actually participate in, which wasn't as interesting. But anyways, of course, Mountain Blade War Band, which is another medieval knights sort of game. If you'd like to see me play Viking-themed games, there's Ragnarok, or Vikings Strategy of Ultimate Conquest. I really want to play that game. Medieval Total War, the Vikings expansion, or there's a couple other Viking-themed games that I'm not recalling at the moment. If you'd like to see me play a Sierra game called Hunter Hunted, for some reason I want to play that game and finish it. It's not the best game, I will tell you that right now, but it's got a lot of weird quirkiness and it's got some bugs. But there's something I like about the action and the level design and the chaotic. Hunter Hunted was a very chaotic game, and there's something I enjoyed about its sense of humor and its style. I liked the style, what can I say? I'm not going to say it's the greatest game. In fact, it's far from it, but it's enjoyable in a weird way that I can't quite explain. But here's what I can say about it. There's a hunter, he's a minotaur. He hunts the hunted down. The hunted is a human, and you're both in a maze, and it's a side-scroller, and there's weapons, and the game's co-op even, where the hunter and the hunted can team up and fight all these other crazy monsters like Death himself. And Death himself has this funny quote where he says, "You can't kill me, I'm already dead," which is kind of funny. But then you do kill him, because otherwise the game wouldn't be as much fun, now would it? If he was invulnerable. Well, it might still be fun, but yeah, invincible enemies. So anyways, with a side-scrolling game, it's kind of hard to get past your opponents. So yeah, you basically have to be able to kill him. So, Daggerfall. I kind of feel like playing the good old-fashioned Elder Scrolls Daggerfall. I know there's so many better Elder Scrolls games, but I really like Daggerfall, and I'm always thinking about going back to it. There's this RPG called Septerra Core that never grabbed me in the way that it made me want to complete it, but entirely at the time, because there were so many other games I had to play, but I bought the game, and I did want to complete it, and I never did, so I was thinking about going back and completing it. Septerra Core, it's an RPG it seems pretty much average. It's basically an average kind of space-themed RPG. I'm not going to really sell it any harder than that because it's not really that high on my list. I'm surprised I'm mentioning it so high on the list, but it's just the way I put it in there. The Populous series. Populous. All of them. Any of them. Populous. Okay. Birthright. It's kind of a cool game where you try to stop the Gorgon, and it's an RPG game with strategy elements as well. In fact, it's more of a strategy game with RPG elements, actually, to be honest. Vangers, a game where you play as vehicles in a weird alien landscape, and you can jump and shoot and mount missile launchers, and you have to deal with these weird alien traditions and races, and you keep getting your vehicle reset in each new area, which is a bummer, because if you try to earn money and get rich, it's kind of frustrating, but who cares about that? It's just a fun game where you drive around and customize your vehicles. It's a really cool game. Jurassic Park Trespasser. I bought that game, and I apologize for Xbox. You guys know enough about Jurassic Park Trespasser? Let's move right along. Hexen 2. It's a first-person shooter that kind of has a medieval theme. I could put that with the knights, but it's, you know, kind of fun. Dominant Species. I picked this game up in a discount games pile a long time ago. It was in the $20 bin. It was a $20 game when it was brand new. One of those discount titles that actually turned out to be a great game. I like Dominant Species. It's an RTS. I never completed it because it's kind of hard. But I did use cheat codes to make a dog creature giant and then explode from giantness, which was, it's a weird game that I like to have fun with, but I'd like to complete the story. Okay, so Princess Tomato in the Vegetable Kingdom is one of those games that I watched my mother beat a long time ago. It's a mystery game, and I can't remember a lot about how to play it, but I think it would be interesting to play. Double Switch is like it's like the Night Trap, but it's like a lighter version of the Night Trap, a PC version of the Night Trap, basically, if you're familiar with the Night Trap. But basically, Double Switch is a game where these people are trying to do something bad to the people in this house. They're these burglars or something, and you have to activate these traps to stop them. Otherwise, bad things will happen and you will lose the game. Anyways, SimCity 2000. It's SimCity. It's fun. Dungeon Keeper 2. I plan to play after beating Dungeon Keeper 1, if you guys would like me to play it. Wolf is the prequel, the predecessor to Lion, and is about wolves. Pinball Quest is a Nintendo game about a pinball that goes on a quest. You can buy new flippers and you can buy new balls. It's weird. It has like money, and it's kind of like an RPG slightly. It's Tale of the Sun is a game about cavemen who try to pile up a bunch of elephant tusks or mammoth tusks to reach the tail of the sun. It's a PlayStation 1 game, and I'm not sure if you can actually beat it, but it's fun to run around and explore and die and starve as a caveman. And obviously I never beat it, but I'm honestly not sure if you can, because I think I got pretty far in that game. But I kind of feel like it'd be fun to play it again just because it's such a weird game. Tale of the Sun is a weird game where you're just kind of put out there as a caveman. I don't think it's a very great game, but was oddly pleasing. Tale of the Sun. It's an oddly pleasing game, despite the fact that it doesn't really have much of a real objective or plots or anything. Starflight. A space exploration game. Starflight. The sun is going to supernova, and you must save mankind by flying about the universe, finding habitable planets. You must also look for technology that might, stop the sun from flaring or something like that? Basically, supernova. You got to stop the sun from supernovaing or find habitable planets that humans can flee to when the sun supernovas. And if you do, I guess you win the game or something. That's the basic plot. I don't know how you win the game because I never beat the game, but I thought Starflight was a very interesting game. I might play the console version of Starflight Or I might play the PC version. It's your choice. Should I play the PC version or the console version of Starflight? I'll play the one you choose. Triumph 4. It's this game that is like Starship Troopers, kind of. You fight a ton of insects. You try to pick up power-ups and get reinforcements before you get killed. There are things that spawn more insects and queens that arise up when an insect touches a flower. The troops must try to step on the flowers to stop queens from being created. And that's one of the difficult things, because the flowers can pop up anywhere, even in the middle of a bunch of insects, and you have to go diving in there and potentially get killed. Getting killed isn't of much consequence, because you keep respawning unless there are no more troops on the field. So, Triumph 4, it's a game that actually, it's a 4-player game, and it holds a dear place in my heart, because it's just a lot of fun. I don't know why I put Pigskin on the list. I guess if you'd like to see me play that game again, or Crystallis, it's a RPG, action RPG for Nintendo. It's a classic. You get swords of various elements, like a earth sword, or a wind sword, or a fire sword. And you defeat things and try to get to the flying city known as Crystallis. And, I don't know, if you do, something good happens. That's basically all I remember of the plot, is that you come out of one of those, like, cryogenic sort of machines, and you're trying to get to that magic city in the sky for some reason, because it's a cool place. The Crystallis, it's a floating city in the sky. It's a really cool place, and I want to go back. This land world is boring compared to a floating city in the sky. Give me the wind sword, and give me the fire sword, and the water sword. Give me the swords of the 4 elements who can power up to various levels. You can hold down the button to charge up the swords and then shoot. They're shooting swords. It's like Link. It's like Link with the shooting swords, except for of the various elements. And then you have magic and telepathy. You can use telepathy to talk to people, which is, I don't know, it's kind of fun. It's got a fun plot. It's got a cool story. I thought Crystallis was a really cool game, and I would like to play it again. Section Z is a side-scrolling game, and at the end of every section, you have to make a choice. If you make the wrong choice, well, the game's addicted to you. The game will throw you back. And there are secrets, and there's all sorts of stuff. Section Z is actually a fun side-scrolling shooter, where you actually collect resources and things like that. But I think the mechanic where you make the choice at the end of the stage, and if you make the wrong choice, you have to go back and replay stages, is kind of mean. It's kind of fun at the same time, because you can find or make really good choices. It's kind of fun figuring out how the maze works, but at the same time, the game can be kind of a dick. So, mixed feelings about Section Z, but I would enjoy playing it again. It's just not an easy game until you learn. It requires you to either have a lot of luck, or a lot of learning, or a lot of skill. In any case, Mylon's Secret Castle is a game that is even more of a dick than Section Z. I don't remember anyone ever beating this game other than, I think my mother came pretty close at one point. I'm not sure if she even beat this one, but I would like to. Kid Clown. You remember Kid Clown? I played Kid Clown, but I did not get the good ending. I would like to go back and get the good ending of Kid Clown. Paperboy. Everyone loves Paperboy. Everyone just about has played Paperboy for Nintendo. Let's play Paperboy for Nintendo. So, that's all. Bad Mojo is a game where you play a cockroach and you solve mysteries and puzzles and explore a world from the point of view of a cockroach. You explore everyday scenes of filth in people's apartments, but people's apartments and abodes have become a horrible puzzle, a world of horrors and death and puzzles. You are killed by spiders and rats and simple common day occurrences that would kill a cockroach. Don't step into that sticky trap, and watch out for people's feet as they try to smash you for being the lowest and disgustingest of creatures, the cockroach in Bad Mojo. It's a weird game. It's a game where you're a cockroach. Whoever heard of a game where you play as a cockroach? It's Bad Mojo. It's a pretty disgusting game, and it's pretty much based on that entire theme. It's mostly physical puzzles from what I remember. I never beat the game, but I remember the first couple of puzzles. All the solutions are physical, since there's no words or very much dialogue. I think the cutscenes were pretty sad, actually, but I think the game was actually a decent game, so I wouldn't mind beating that one, Bad Mojo. Celtic Tales, Balor of Evil Eye. Celtic Tales is a game made by Koei. It's a strategy RPG that in many ways reminds you very much of the Romance of the Three Kingdoms series, since it was made as a same part of the same series as the people who made Romance of the Three Kingdoms and a lot of other Koei's strategy games of that era. Balor of Evil Eye is set in a somewhat mythical setting in Ireland where there are... I think it's Ireland. Yeah, where... Or is it Ireland? I think so. Where... correct me if I'm wrong, but where there's these mysterious Formors, these mysterious ogres that terrorize the people and take their food, and they ask for taxes, and if you don't give them the taxes, they will terrorize your people, and you have to try to defeat either the Formors or defeat your fellow human beings and take control of the land, or I'm not sure exactly how you beat that game since I never beat it, but I had fun playing it and I would like to play it again, but I'm currently playing a turn-based game, so I will have to wait until I'm done with that at the very least, but it's in the future. If you'd like to see it, vote for it. The Carandia series is a series of point-and-click adventures that's warm and delightful. I like it, and I watched my mother beat it, and it was fun. And that's basically all I have to say about that. Yeah, they're good games. Colorful, enjoyable, warm, good voice acting. And I liked Carandia 3 the best, because you play as the villain from Carandia 1, who is a jester. You play as Malcolm the Jester in Carandia 3. And Carandia 3 has this incredibly interesting game mechanic where you can slide your character's attitude from good to evil, and there are different solutions to puzzles based on whether or not your character's feeling mischievous and good and friendly, or mischievous and evil, or I think was there a neutral setting? I'm not sure. But also, like the first area, there's actually a whole bunch of different solutions. There are multiple solutions to the puzzles, which I think is really interesting for a puzzle game to have multiple solutions to the puzzles. It was refreshing and interesting, and so Carandia 3, Malcolm's Revenge, was it? Also, that game has one of the most surprising moments of all time for video games that I'd like to talk about, but I'll do that later since I have a lot to talk about right now. So, Prisoner of Ice is a point-and-click adventure based on the Cthulhu H.P. Lovecraft mythology, and things get pretty dark and messed up. You take the role of a person who's on a submarine in the Arctic at first, and you run into mysterious, horrible monsters that devour human beings, known as the Prisoners of Ice. They are encased in ice, and being frozen is basically one of the only things that can stop them. They're unstoppable, voracious, lizard-like creatures that can turn to liquid, and they're horrifying, and they just devour people like they're candy, and it's pretty cool. It's kind of a cool game, just for the terror factor, but all in all, it's not the best point-and-click adventure, but the style, I kind of like the style of the game. It has kind of a unique style, I would guess. I would say it has a unique style, but not so much maybe it's not like the best point-and-click adventure in terms of a lot of game mechanics or puzzle logic or things like that, but the style was really fun because it kind of scared me. It scared me a bit that these unstoppable horrid creatures that eat people like candy are out there. Dragon's Lair 2, need to finish that up. Let's see. There's a game called Chaos World for Nintendo. It's an RPG. It's kind of interesting. Kingsfield, the Captain Tsubasa series, Dragon Seed, as your dreams. Or, I should say, all the Konami games that Psycho Mantis wants you to play. Psycho Mantis has a list of games by Konami that he will compliment you for having a save in these games. I would like to play all the games that Psycho Mantis compliments you for playing, and then play Metal Gear Solid and have that memory card in, so that Psycho Mantis, he basically mentions all the Konami games that he can compliment you for playing, or comment on you. I want to get all the Psycho Mantis comments for playing various video games and having the saves on your memory card when I play Metal Gear Solid. And then I want to play all the Konami games that Psycho Mantis comments on and / recommends, and then play Metal Gear Solid again and get all the comments in one go. If you can actually fit all those games on one memory card. I don't know how many games there are. I'd have to look it up. But I think that would be kind of fun. That is it, I guess. I mean, there are other ideas I have, but that was a lot of video game suggestions or ideas. Anyways, I have spoken for 26 minutes, so I might have to edit this down a bit. But anyways, thank you very much for watching this episode. Thank you very much for watching my weekly vlog. I'll see you next week, everyone. Good night.